Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I am going to be giving you my Pisces May 2018 horoscope forecast. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, people, well, first thing up is, as far as May goes, the Sun will be in Taurus from the 1st until the 20th. So the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time, there could be a strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention put into communications, short journeys, early education. It could be people from that were prominent in one's early education, siblings, neighbors, and cousins. And this could be done with a lot of Taurus-like persistence and perseverance, done in a very methodical and deliberate fashion, with a lot of ponderous energy, with stolidness, and very steady as well. And really, and perhaps with even latent energy as well, and knowing when to kind of act and use the energy wisely, storing it when needed for these things connected with the third house. Now, anyway, next thing up is, as far as May goes, the Sun will be in Gemini from the 20th until the 31st. So the fourth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, there could be a strong concentration of energy, focus, attention put into the home, the family, roots, traditions, who you are at the core, matters pertaining to the end of life, emotional security, and the less dominant parent, which is generally the mother. So well, given that this is Gemini energy, this could be done in a very animated and vivacious manner, very spirited, lively, and even whimsical, maybe to some degree, with certain things connected with the fourth house, such as matters with the home and family. But yet, just to be careful, this Gemini energy can be superficial, so it may not have, it's not going to have generally the persistence like the Taurus energy I described before. And also, Gemini energy is not just vivacious, it could be vicarious as well. So when you're doing things and matters connected with the fourth house, just make sure you're not living through, what somebody else may be doing, dealing with comparable things, and doing it really with, doing it your own way, not through somebody else. So anyway, and also Gemini energy could be very loquacious. So the danger is perhaps maybe just talking incessantly about things that you're going to do in matters connected with the fourth house, but maybe not following up on them all the time. So anyway, the next thing up is the moon will be, new moon will be in Taurus on May 15th. So the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, well, this could be, in some cases, a new Taurus relationship that maybe someone you meet in your neighborhood, or maybe a sibling introduces you to, or it could be rekindling a connection with a sibling maybe you hadn't seen in some time, or a cousin perhaps. That could be a Taurus Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply one that embodies Taurus-like characteristics. It could also be a time where you begin some kind of new writing or communication project that might require a lot of persistence, perseverance, and patience as well, and one you stick to with a lot of loyalty and steadfastness. Now, also too, could be a new writing. This could also be something that you may maybe start maybe with neighbors, or a neighbor, or maybe a sibling or a cousin. It could be something connected with finance, banking, architecture, something with money in general. It could be just a general money-making endeavor, or something connected with cultivating or gardening. And also maybe a new period of peace and tranquility that you perhaps share with siblings and at this time, or even with cousins. And also a new period of perhaps putting more value than usual in your short journeys and in your communications and connections with siblings, cousins, and neighbors. And anyway, well, the next thing up is the full moon will be in Sagittarius on May 29th. So the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, well, Pisces may simply become exasperated, tired, and somewhat full, maybe of perhaps a foolhardy, reckless, flighty, overly blunt, overly voracious, speaking that veritable truth. That could be demoralizing even, and it could be a dominant parent or authority figure. In some cases, this could be perhaps a completion of something career related. That could be Sagittarius, connected with something Sagittarius, like such as sports, religion, philosophy, publishing, something connected with translation and import, export type business might come to a completion or culmination, or just simply it could be a business or career project associated with this comes to an end or completion. It could have been even something that might have been done outdoors. And also too, this could be simply where you might put a lot of the Sagittarius, like a full exuberant, enthusiastic, and expansive emotional energy into something 10th house related, such as improving the stature in life, getting notoriety, recognition, activities perhaps with authority figures, the dominant parent, and even improving one's reputation and public image. So anyway, next thing up is Mercury will be in Aries as far as May goes from the 1st until the 13th. So the 2nd house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Pisces, this could be a time where Pisces could be rather outspoken, aggressive, forthright, and very abrupt perhaps in their communications, perhaps with people that they generate money with. It could be at one's job. It could be just simply communicating in this manner about one's self-worth and how they feel about themselves, their self-esteem, and even matters connected with their possessions and resources. This could be a period where you're willing perhaps to speak out a little bit more and be more outspoken regarding your possessions than usual. Like say if somebody is looking at something that you have in one of your possessions, you might be like, well, why don't you ask me before looking at things at your convenience. So also too, this could be about, the way this could manifest is becoming angry or acrimonious if someone disagrees with you over something 2nd house related, such as something of a monetary nature or over values, and maybe even how you feel about yourself, or maybe possessions you want to acquire. So anyway, well, the next thing up is Mercury will be in Taurus as far as May goes from the 13th until the 29th. So the 3rd house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, this could be a lot of deliberate, ponderous, persistent, patient, and methodical communications with siblings, with neighbors, with cousins even. It could even be with people that are prominent in your short journeys, your short travels. The way this could manifest and work out too for Pisces, that this could be about learning just in general in your neighborhood, with siblings, with neighbors, through visual things being demonstrated visually, watching videos, through methodical assimilation. And remember that Mercury can also be more than just about communications. It can be about siblings as well. And this could be about dealing with some very loyal and steadfast, but maybe even stubborn or obstinate siblings that might factor in more prominently than usual in your communications, and maybe even your short journeys at this time, where you may be, places you might be going, or errands you might be doing for people. So anyway, well, the next thing up is, as far as May goes, Mercury will be in Gemini from the 29th until the 31st. So the 4th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, well, Pisces may be more loquacious and talkative than usual with family members and people that he or she is close to home with. This could be about a strong expression of intellectual stimulation with these people, and maybe it's trying to assimilate a lot of information in a short period. It could be a time where you might be more into like Reader's Digest, condensed stories kind of thing, if that's even still around. But you understand what I'm saying, because Mercury and Gemini energy can be somewhat superficial and really doesn't always have the persistence to learn, complete subjects. And also, too, this could be about perhaps very eloquent and verbose communications tied into one's roots and traditions. And really, you might be more really about becoming more knowledgeable, really about manifold subjects you might feel close to home to, and also talking very extensively, maybe about things that are going to make you emotionally secure and your foundations as well. You might also feel at this time that maybe family members and people you're close to home with might be more inquisitive than usual, and you might be doing some more question asking regarding them as well at this time than usual. So anyway, next thing up is Venus will be in Gemini as far as May goes, from the 1st until the 19th. So the 4th house, again, is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time, well, Pisces may simply value more communication than usual with home and family members and people he or she feels close to home with. Remember that when if Pisces is unattached, remember that Venus and Gemini could be about sometimes two relationships. So it could be a time where there might be greater propensity for having two relationships simultaneously, maybe with someone you're close to home with, or maybe somebody that in your home family life may have introduced you to. Also, too, and it could even be with a Gemini sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply one or two that embody Gemini-like characteristics. Also, this could be about the expression of enjoyment in games that challenge the mind, such as haiku, Sudoku, chess, or Tetris. And doing these, maybe it might be part of like a tradition that you might start as well. And also the way this can manifest is perhaps the enjoyment of being inquisitive, really about enjoyment of being inquisitive, and really terms of getting in touch with roots in who you are at the core. And also about expression perhaps of a wide divergence and variety of foundations at this time as well. So anyway, well, the next thing up is Venus will be in Cancer as far as May goes, from the 19th until the 31st. So the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Pisces, well, if Pisces is unattached, it could be a time where Pisces might connect with a Cancerian love. It could be a Cancer sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply one that embodies Cancerian characteristics. It could be somebody that might be introduced maybe through a child, or maybe somebody that you share a creative endeavor with or a hobby with, or you might meet. It might be someone you meet through one of these outlets. Now, it could also be about really strong expression of nurturing and sympathetic energy, and enjoyment of this to children, to a love romantic partner, and also about valuing introversion and home and family life with these people perhaps as well, and valuing safety and security with children and with a romantic partner as well. And having also too about maybe the love of maybe nurturing things that are really they're connected with your hobbies, your fun, your amusement, your enjoyment, and also children and people that you're in a love romantic relationship with. Anyway, well, the next thing up is, as far as May goes, Mars will be in Capricorn from the 1st until the 19th. So the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time, well, the way this could manifest is that there can be more acrimonious, contentious situations, perhaps with friends, with acquaintances, maybe in group club situations, and also too, really a lot of consistent, disciplined, and serious energy injected into one's goals, aspirations, matters with friends, and also in group involvements and even activities in clubs perhaps. And if you're this could also manifest perhaps in very consistent, very premeditated sex. It could be, in some cases, with friends or with acquaintances. It could be somebody that maybe you know well in some group, club, or organization. And also, could be a lot of energy into really, maybe into you talk about Mars and Capricorn, energy into the reputation and being successful. And this could be tied in to your goals, to your future, into being more successful as well. And anyway, and also about energies into maybe responsibilities to friends, to acquaintances, and even stepchildren in some cases, if applicable. Anyway, next thing up is, as far as May goes, Mars will be in Aquarius from the 19th until the 31st. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time, the way this could work out, well, first off, there can be, Pisces energy might be a little bit more dissipated this time than usual, because you're talking about the 12th house and you're talking about the planet connected with energy and vitality, and might be rather sporadic and erratic and diminished, considering you're talking about Aquarius energy. Also, this could be about getting into maybe certain arguments or having the situation perhaps with aunts, uncles, people prominent in your private life be more contentious and acrimonious than usual. You might be more angry at some kind of bizarre or idiosyncratic behavior by these people. But also on the positive side, this could be a lot of energy and vitality going into Aquarius-like things such as innovation, computers, electronics, astrology even, and doing so in solitude and seclusion, and perhaps an abundance of selfless and humanitarian energy, helping those less fortunate than yourself, such as the oppressed, the homeless, and the impoverished. So, and really, it might be some rather sporadic energy, perhaps going into maybe seeking out hidden adversaries at this time, and perhaps even some unusual clandestine affairs at this time as well in some cases. So anyway, well, the next thing up is Jupiter will still be in Scorpio. It will be retrograde, and the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Pisces, well, this could, remember I've talked about previously that Jupiter can be rather paradoxical. It's very strongly benign and benevolent, but it could also have a proclivity to expand and enlarge. And in some cases, this could be about the expansion of surreptitious, manipulative, and even jealous, nefarious behavior, perhaps by in-laws and grandchildren. It could even be by people that you might know at some college, university, or that you meet through traveling abroad. But at the same time, this could be about a strong transformation of philosophies at this time, and very deep ones perhaps as well. And also, it could be about going positive, really, it'd be very fortuitous, perhaps going beyond the superficial and subterfuge. It could be connected with foreigners, in-laws, grandchildren, people you meet traveling abroad. This is also could be about luck, unveiling secrets, and maybe going beyond the superficial, and really about false doctrines as well, unveiling secrets regarding false doctrines that you may know about. Now, also keep in mind, given that this is retrograde, the way this can manifest perhaps is revealing profound philosophy in general, and also philosophy regarding higher education at this time, and abstract thinking. So anyway, well, the next thing up is Saturn will be in Capricorn still, so the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted, and retrograde as well. So at this time for Pisces, well, this could perhaps be about dealing with certain restrictions and limitations pertaining to friends, acquaintances. It could be group activities, and you might feel more despondent regarding your future at this time than usual. Also, too, you may be having to take care of maybe a debilitated or sickly, maybe a friend, an acquaintance, or even a stepchild in some cases, if applicable. It could be something Capricorn related, such as something with the knees, the bones, or the joints. And also, too, this could be about working very laboriously in some cases on a government related project. That could be a goal tied into one's goal or aspiration at this time, and even giving structure and discipline in matters connected with friends and group activities, acquaintances as well, your goals and aspirations. So anyway, well, the next thing up is, well, Uranus will be in Aries as far as May goes, from the 1st until the 15th. So the second house will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, this could be about very extemporaneous, sudden monetary ideas. The financial situation might be a little erratic and sporadic at this time, and maybe unusual and unpredictable. In some cases, this could be about unpredictable, volatile behavior, maybe by people at the place you generate income with. Friendships might figure more prominently in terms of your values and your self-esteem, and even your monetary situation. And also, too, this could be about perhaps making money through ingenuity, through pioneering ideas, through something Uranus-like, such as computers, electronics, aerospace, astronomy, esoteric subjects, which include astrology. So, but your financial situation, again, might be going through some disruptions at this time, be a little bit erratic and sporadic. There might be some instability associated with it. Now, Uranus will, as far as May goes, will be in Taurus from May 15th till the 31st. So the third house as well be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, Pisces might be dealing with maybe some unusual, persistent, stubborn siblings at this time, even unusual, stubborn or obstinate cousins or neighbors. There might be more, the communications for Pisces might be more erratic and sporadic than usual. This could be about maybe the formulation of some new financial ideas, ways to make money that are done with siblings or with cousins, even people that you're in your daily communications or that you know in your short journeys. Well, also too, this could be the way this could work out. You might be coming up with ideas that come out very extemporaneously, very spontaneously at this time, and really it could give very ingenious thinking during this period. But given that it's Taurus, it might be very ponderous and a little bit more methodical because of that. And anyway, well, the next thing up is Neptune will be in Pisces still, so the first house as well will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, this could be, Neptune energy can be very about dissipation and dissolving. In some cases, this could be about the vitality, the energy dissipating, dissolving, especially if this is actually hitting one's actual ascendant or sun. If it's hitting one's moon, then it's more emotional energy that might be diminished. And also too, Pisces, just be careful to make, really might be more susceptible than usual to alcohol and drugs at this time, and deception and duplicity. Pisces could be more, as I do believe, is most susceptible to drugs and alcohol anyway, but there can even be a greater propensity this time. And also, Pisces might be having difficulty perhaps dealing with maybe nebulous or unclear new beginnings. It could be somebody that Pisces knows from their early childhood that might be somewhat unclear or vague or nebulous. at this time. And also, too, in some cases, this could be dealing with some Pisces like illness. It could be something connected even with an accidental assimilation of some kind of gas such as radon, or something that could be very mysterious or unclear or enigmatic at this time, something that might be associated with maybe drugs or alcohol. And Pisces might be going through some confusion in connection with the outlook on life this time. Pisces generally can be rather confused anyway, because Pisces, as many of you may know, is the amalgamation or combination. I mean, at least in theory, and I do concur with this. Some may not agree, but I do believe they are the amalgamation of the previous 11 signs. So, and then when you have Neptune hitting Pisces energy, that can only exacerbate that. So anyway. Well, the next thing up is, well, Pluto will be in Capricorn still, so the 11th house is will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, well, I know a lot of you don't want me to talk about it, but you know I'm going to anyway, and even though it might sound morose or morbid to you, to some of you, Pluto can represent literal death. In some cases, this could be an actual literal death that Pisces may experience, in some cases a stepchild if applicable, or it could be a close friend or an acquaintance of Pisces knows, or somebody that they know very well in some group, club, or organization. In some cases, this could be about the obliteration and destruction of aspirations and goals, but remember that that Pluto energy, the way it can work and manifest is that, I mean, it can destroy, but Pluto is also about rebirth and regeneration. So if something is destroyed, it can often be supplanted later on with something else. So also about dealing with maybe very strong, consistent, obsessive compulsive behavior, perhaps from a friend or an acquaintance. It could be power struggles with 11th house people, such as stepchildren in some cases. If applicable, it could be friends, it could be acquaintances. And also guard against manipulative behavior in order to attain perhaps goals and aspirations. You might feel that you're getting maybe more power over the future at this time. You might feel your future might be obliterated or destroyed at this time as well. And also about dealing with upheavals in matters connected with friends and with acquaintances maybe as well, and maybe just in general with your goals and with your aspirations. So anyway, well, the next thing up is the North Node will be in Leo still, so the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, well, remember, when the North Node is in transit, the way this could manifest is this could be about issues that one may have to confront and address. And we were talking about North Node, Leo, and 6th house energy. This could be about having to confront perhaps a arrogant, dominant, bombastic, overbearing, flamboyant aunt or uncle, someone in your daily routine. It could be someone prominent in your health life, or maybe a place of employment. Also, too, the way this can manifest and work out, this could be about where maybe you're commanding or demanding, I should say, maybe more attention and recognition for what you're doing, something in your daily routine, or maybe at your place of work at this time. And maybe the way this could work out is that maybe it's about having to be a little bit more magnanimous and generous with 6th house related things, such as generous of your time at work. It could be in connection with aunts, with uncles, with people prominent in your daily routine, and maybe even service to others. And also, too, in some cases, this could be, the way this could manifest is having to address maybe a Leo, like a health related issue. It could be something connected with the heart or the upper back, and especially if this is making actual, say it's in the 6th house and making an inconjunct aspect to the Ascendant. And also, Leo energy can be like really that nearly indefatigable, inexorable energy. And of course, if it's making that in conjunct to Pisces Ascendant, there's obviously an adjustment there, because Pisces energy is really almost the opposite, because Pisces is one of the signs that's really lower in vitality and energy. So it's also careful for Pisces to not succumb to overexertion at this time. So anyway, well, the next thing up is the Black Moon Lilith will still be in Capricorn. So the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, well, the way this could work out is that this could be about perhaps the revelation or unveiling of somebody that might be showing tyrannical tendencies, or ruthless qualities, being undemonstrative, cold, callous, and overambitious. It could be a friend, an acquaintance, somebody that you know in a group or organization, or even a stepchild in some cases, if applicable. Now, also too, this could be something, I mean, when you're talking about Black Moon Lilith energy, it could be about the revelation of a very strong, formidable adversary, and it could be a Capricorn Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply one that embodies Capricorn-like characteristics. This could be a friend that might turn on someone, an acquaintance that he or she knows well, or even, or maybe a stepchild in some instances, someone that might, Pisces may know in some kind of group, club, or organization. And also, too, the Black Moon Lilith could be about what could put one in a very strong state of fright and trepidation. And for Pisces, this simply, it could be about maybe relinquishing maybe authority over a group, club, or organization, or maybe even with a friend in some cases. So anyway, well, the next thing up is, well, Chiron will be in Aries. So the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time, well, remember that Chiron is can be connected with emotional wounds and suffering, and this could be about maybe lack of enterprise and initiative in monetary matters, and perhaps in the accumulation of possessions and resources, maybe not being assertive enough and being outspoken enough about possessions, such as somebody messing with maybe your possessions and not maybe really saying anything about it, or taking something that didn't belong to them and you became maybe overly passive about it and not speaking up, as an example, is what I'm saying. Also, too, the way this could work out, this could be about dealing with combative, acrimonious situations, perhaps with the place that you generate income. And also too, when you're talking about the Chiron and Aries energy, could be about your feelings of lack of worthiness, and given that you're talking about second house energy, this could be about leading to maybe very diminished self-esteem and self-worth, and also too, maybe not really, you feel like you're fitting in perhaps at the place that you're generating money at, and maybe something with your values, you don't feel that meshes with what a lot of other people put their values in strongly. So, but remember too, that when you're talking about the Chiron energy, Chiron is the wounded healer. So in the areas that you're having difficulty with and going through some emotional wounds and suffering connected with Chiron and Aries and the second house, you may be able to help others out dealing with comparable situations, and do so with a lot of that Aries like fortitude, courage, aggressiveness, assertiveness, and enterprise. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Pisces May 2018 horoscope forecast. Stay tuned next time, where I'm going to be giving you my take on the May 15th, 2018 new moon in Taurus. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.